Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know by now I review many photographic, audio and video related products. Today isn't a review. We're taking another look at the Fuji X-T200, and here it is. This is a camera that I purchased fairly recently. I've done a review on it, an initial review, and it'll be linked somewhere up here. I can never remember where YouTube put the suggested links. Is it up this end or at that end? Anyway, up there somewhere. So you can take a look at that. And in that video, I praised this camera really highly because I really do like it, and that hasn't changed. I actually do really love this camera. It's great fun to take out taking photographs with, and short video clips it's great fun with. It's got the best screen I've seen on a camera as yet. It's got a really big 3.5-inch tilty-wilty, well, articulating touchscreen, and it's great. The touchscreen is pretty responsive. Probably not as responsive as Canon and Panasonic, but you know, it is pretty good. This camera retails at a really good price point now. It's come down in price quite dramatically. I don't know if it's a special offer that's going to finish or whether this is the new retail price. I don't know. But here in the UK, I picked this up for 550 quid, including the 15 to 45 kit lens, and that's the kit lens. And I got it from Wex Photographic. This isn't an advert for Wex, and they're not sponsoring me, but I actually do find their service exceptionally good, and I buy most of my stuff from Wex because the service is so good, and the prices are excellent. So that's the Fuji X-T200. But since I've been using it, I've come across 6 things that kind of annoy me, and 1 or 2 things irritate me. But it doesn't, you know, stop me from recommending it, and I will still recommend it to anyone who's on a tight budget and wants to take decent photographs and decent video. But let's get into the 6 things that irritate me. The first thing is where they've placed the tripod mount, and it is kind of off center, which isn't what annoys me, but it's too close to the battery door. And you see the battery door here. That's the battery door for obviously getting your battery and your SD card out. And that is the crucial thing. Your SD card goes in with a battery. And I find, because I do most of my filming here in the studio here and at the office, obviously I've got a tripod plate. I actually use Arca Swiss plate. So the Arca Swiss plate just goes on the camera as it would if you had a Manfrotto plate or, you know, any other plate. Doesn't really matter which we're using. Now, this is a really small plate, not very wide at all. But even this small plate, once it's in, let's get back in. I'm not going to do it too tight. I can adjust the plate, but not far enough to get the door open. So that's really frustrating. Many manufacturers do this. It isn't only Fuji that are guilty of this. Sony are guilty of this with their little ZV-1. And that is frustrating because every time you need to get the SD card out or you want to take the battery out, you've got to fumble around with the tripod plate, take that off, get the battery out to change, or take the SD card out, and then put it back on. And I just find that somewhat irritating. So that's one thing, the placement of the tripod mount. Number 2 is the autofocus. Although the autofocus is really good, and it's quite a step up from some of the earlier Fuji cameras. They really are getting their act together with really good autofocus. It's not as good as the Sonys, and probably the Canons. I can't really say for sure, but if you look at this shot here, you can see the autofocus has completely drifted out, and there's only me in shot, and that's what is kind of annoying. So it isn't as sticky. The autofocus isn't as sticky as what my Sonys would be, and I'm running today, actually, well, I've been running for a long time, the Sony A6100, and the close-up shot is on my A6600 with the Sigma 56mm lens. So the autofocus is good, but it's not great. So that's one thing. Particularly in video. In stills is fine, you know, no problem at all. But in video, not quite so sticky. The other third thing. Now, this is annoying as well. Video clips. Now, I don't know if it's the file format that Fuji use. I don't know. I'm suspecting it's FAT32 file structure, because the file, when you're doing it in 4K, it splits those files up into smaller clips. So say a 15-minute clip or 14 or 10-minute clip could be 3 files. Now you then have to, when you put it in your edit suite, you then have to combine those 3 files to create one file. And in Final Cut Pro 10 they call that a compound clip. So you have to create a compound clip before you can start doing your multicam edit. Now that's okay if you've only done 1 video that day, but say you've done 3 or 4. It's a real pain trying to find those clips because there's going to be loads of them, and then you have to split them up, work out which clips form part of just one clip. Very frustrating and very annoying. It would have been great if they could have done what Sony do and other manufacturers do, where it's just one clip. Why can't it just be one clip? There you go. So that's annoying. So that's the third thing. Fourth thing is I kind of touched on it just now. The 15-minute record limit in 4K. Why couldn't it have been 30 minutes? I suspect they're concerned about the camera overheating. I've not had any overheating issues with it, and I've been using it quite a bit. So, but I think that's probably why they've got a 15-minute 4K record limit, or they don't want to cannibalise sales of their higher up cameras, such as the X-T3 and X-T4, X-T200, I guess. So they restricted the record limit to 15 minutes. A little bit annoying. I mean, it's 30 minutes in HD, so you can get around it by filming in HD. And if you've got like an Atomos Ninja 5, you can get around it with that because you can output via the HDMI, a 4K signal to your Atomos Ninja, and that'll give you unlimited record time until the battery runs out. So that is, a limitation. But these limitations don't need to be here these days because there is no tax implications. In the old days, up until fairly recently, if a camera could record for longer than 30 minutes, it was classed as a camcorder, and the import duties on that was higher. But that doesn't exist anymore, so they don't need to, implement these record limits unless it is to do with overheating. That I don't know. The other thing is you can actually you do charge a battery via the USB port. It's got a USB-C port on the side of the camera, which is useful, but with my Sonys, I'm so used being able to power the cameras via USB-C, particularly again in the studio here when I'm running them for a long time. I don't even have to worry about the battery running flat. I just power it via USB. There's actually micro USB as opposed to USB-C, but it's neither here nor there. But you can't run the camera of the X-T200 via USB. You can only charge a battery. It won't run it via the USB. Again, I found a workaround with that. It cost me 20 quid. And what I bought was basically a dummy battery. And you'll see here it's a dummy battery with a cable on the end. On the other end of the cable is USB-C. Standard USB. So there's the dummy battery. That'll go in here into the bottom of the camera like so. Cable comes out, and then you just plug the standard USB into your power block. So, and I have tested it. It works absolutely fine. Works a treat. So that gives you continuous power. So that's that's an interesting workaround. So there we go. And the other thing that I don't particularly like about this camera, although this is kind of, I say it's a negative, that's why I've left this particular thing to the last, because it isn't a major negative, but the only way to monitor the audio, which I said in my review actually, is via the USB-C port. So again, you open this USB-C port, and Fuji supply a USB-C to adapter, a USB-C to 3.5mm adapter, and you can see that's the USB-C one end and a 3.5mm jack the other side, and then all you do, you plug that into the side of the camera, and there you have your method of monitoring the audio, and it works absolutely great. But the thing I don't like about it is that you're going to lose it. As simple as that. You know, these little piddly adapters, you've got to remember to take it with you if you're going out filming somewhere. And I know, I'm very confident I am going to lose that little adapter. I don't know if you can buy them separately. I have no idea. And if you can, I bet they're expensive. But the plus side, there's also a minus and a plus. The plus side is at least Fuji have implemented a method of being able to monitor the audio, because vast majority, if not all cameras at the price point this now is, you can't. For example, on my A6100, which is actually now more expensive than what this camera is, there is no way of monitoring the audio. There is no headphone jack at all. So you could see it as a negative and you could see it as a positive. So I just wish there was a headphone jack. But there we go. That's a few pointers of the Fujifilm X-T200 that I think, you know, a little bit niggling, but don't detract from the use of a camera. As I said, it's very lightweight, great quality, nice touchscreen, which is great. Battery life is okay. It's not awesome, but it is, you know, it's okay. And I tell you what I do like about this though, but I wish other manufacturers would do. In the bottom here, this is meant to be a video of what I don't like, but anyway, they've put on the bottom such a simple idea. I've never seen such a simple idea, but the battery lever thing is color coded orange. You probably can see that, and the bottom of the battery is orange, so you just match up for two and you know it's going into the camera the right way round. How simple is that? But very effective when you're in a rush and you want to make sure you get it in the right way round. You're not fiddling around with it. So very simple, but very good. So there we go. That's the Fuji X-T200. Some of the things that I dislike about it. So if you do enjoy my channel, really appreciate a like if you like this video. Really helps me grow the channel, and please subscribe if you haven't already done so. The subscriptions are great. I'm really enjoying it. It's growing and it really motivates me to want to do, you know, produce more videos. So thanks very much for all of that, and please subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thanks very much for watching, and stay tuned for more videos relating to video and photography. Thanks a lot. Bye for now.